hope that you did get a good feel from the posters for the breadth of science ongoing at Kentucky's academic campuses. We need to elevate the recognition of how important the STEM human capital behind those posters is to the Commonwealth and the nation. I sort of look forward to the day when the accolades for our researchers are on par with our sports teams. We realize that the conduct of science today is generally a collaborative activity. Collaboration is especially critical for enhancing the impact of science. Various collaboration services are now available or are being developed in the Commonwealth. We have 2 example collaborative services which we will be presenting during this session. Our first presenter is Mary Tapolsky. Dr. Tapolsky is Director of the Technology Commercialization and Program Administration for Nucleus. Nucleus, as you may know, is the University of Louisville's agency supporting research commercialization and community economic development. Mary's presentation will briefly describe the services provided by Nucleus in support of innovation. Welcome, Mary.
Thank you. So thank you, Rick, and thank you, everybody, for the opportunity to offer, to describe to you our efforts to offer an entrepreneurship training program to help entrepreneurs launch and grow their businesses. So just briefly, Nucleus was established in 2008. We're a subsidiary of the University of Louisville Foundation. We are the economic development arm of the university. We work with university researchers and other entrepreneurs with technology-based innovations looking to launch and grow their startups. As I mentioned, we're a vector for realizing the University of Louisville's commitment to economic development. We manage the Nucleus Innovation Research Parks. Currently, that includes 2 buildings in downtown Louisville that have office and both wet and dry lab space. We're currently building in the downtown Louisville a new 8-story, 200,000 square foot building which will house office and dry lab space companies, as well as renovating a building right across the street from there, which will be it's the Innovation Hub, which will be low-cost co-networking space for very early-stage companies. Eventually, we plan to have a research park building down on the Belknap campus to leverage proximity to the Conn Center for Renewable Energy and the Speed School. And we will have a research park building out on the Shelbyhurst campus to leverage proximity to the Biosafety Lab 3 facility. Now for the companies that are in our research park, we offer a variety of services. We offer professional employment organization, Internet 2 access, data storage, and conference room availability, et cetera, et cetera. We also offer university researchers and tenant companies assistance in writing grants. Typically, they request assistance in the commercialization and the market sections of applications for both federal and state funds. We offer sector-specific networking events, and we offer a technology commercialization training program, which is the Kauffman FastTrac TechVenture program. So what made us decide to offer an entrepreneurship training program? Well, it seemed that there was truly a community need for a mini MBA type program that would assist entrepreneurs in having better vetted opportunities. A program that would provide them with a forum or a methodology, if you will, for critically analyzing their business opportunity and coming up with a more well-vetted opportunity. For example, who's their customer? What need are they solving? Can they produce it and still make enough money to be a viable company? What kinds of people do they need to hire around them to supplement their skill set? Do they need investment dollars? If so, how much? Questions like that. And these are of benefit when a company comes with a better vetted opportunity when they go to, for example, the Innovation and Commercialization Center in Louisville for assistance. That's good. If they have better vetted opportunities when they approach the investor community in Louisville, that's also good. It's also good for the state and federal agencies that provide research dollars to help these companies because, again, it moves forward much more quickly if their opportunities are better vetted and if they understand exactly what they're getting into and where they need to go to take their technology forward to make it a successful opportunity. So Nucleus decided to go ahead and drive this initiative in Louisville. And we reviewed several different commercially available programs that we could have used. We ended up selecting the Kauffman FastTrac TechVenture program. First of all, we decided to use an established program so that we could establish our credibility in this kind of offering this kind of a training program. We decided to use the Kauffman program because Kauffman is well respected in this field. And also the TechVenture program has been around for a little over 15 years, and it's offered worldwide. So the price was reasonable, so we decided to go ahead and elect this program to work with. The other thing that we really liked about this program is that it's experiential in nature. The 10 module program, the first 4 focus on concept analysis, but there's a big focus on getting out, talking to your customers, talking to potential end users, making sure that the product that you're thinking to offer actually is desirable to somebody and that they'll pay for it. So the first 4 look at, what are the benefits and uniqueness of your idea? Who's your target market? Conducting market research and analysis, and then finally actually getting out and testing your business concept and revising it should you need to in order to, move your product down a successful commercialization pathway. The next 6 modules focus on business plan development. As you can see from the scope of these topics, they're useful both for very early stage companies who might need some assistance in figuring out whether they actually have a technology that is commercializable. It's also good for companies a little farther advanced that may need to fill in the holes in their business plan, to fill in the holes of their thinking, or at least to be reminded of aspects that they need to be continually reassessing as they move down their commercial pathway. And these are the next 6, entering and capturing, well, you can read the titles: entering and capturing the market, planning for financial success, building and compensating your organizational team, protecting your business, is it an S Corp, is it an LLC, what you need, protecting your intellectual property, working with investors, finding appropriate funding, and then managing the cash and operating your business. So the Kauffman TechVenture program, it's a 10-week course, 10 modules. We meet for 3 hours, 1 night a week. It requires a program director, which is me. That person is responsible for all the technical aspects of making sure the program is run correctly, from the advertising, the engaging the entrepreneurs that participate, taking in the cash for that, finding and engaging business coaches, finding and engaging guest speakers. The way this program is typically formatted is it starts with a facilitated discussion of the material for that day, followed by a guest speaker who provides sort of lessons learned type analysis of that topic matter. And then the entrepreneurs break into small groups where they work in a 3-to-1 or 4-to-1 ratio with an experienced business coach to apply the lesson of the day to their individual opportunity. Well, after we offered this for the first time, we actually ended up taking the facilitated discussion portion and combining that into the business coaching session. Seems to make the evenings run a bit better. And, I think what we also found as we went through here is that while the Kauffman TechVenture material is, it's fine, it's adequate, it covers all the aspects that we need, that an entrepreneur needs to consider as they're trying to launch and grow their business. It's actually the interactions that they have with the guest speakers and the business coaches that are most critical for the success of our program. So it's the fact that we've been able to find and engage very successful entrepreneurs, people that have been successful entrepreneurs themselves, people that teach at the University of Louisville MBA program, angel investors in our area that are willing to come and give their time both as guest speakers and to work, for 30 hours and more with these entrepreneurs is really what's been critical to the success of our program. Now, all these people that then, the guest speakers and the business coaches, in addition to bringing significant value and expertise to our entrepreneurs, they also become potential mentors as well as potential investors. This just gives you a brief illustration of the types of people that we've had as our guest speakers. This is the spring 2012 list. I'm sure many of the names will be familiar to those entrepreneurs in the group here. So the way that this is structured, the entrepreneurs pay to attend the class. We've tried to keep the rate reasonable because we do realize that startup companies have very limited resources. For their tuition, they receive a course book. They also receive access to the Kauffman online FastTrac TechVenture material that's available to them during the course and afterwards as well. They have, more importantly in my opinion, the opportunity to network with successful entrepreneurs and investors, the opportunity to work with experienced business coaches who review their work, review their business plan, review their business concept on a weekly basis, both in and outside of the class. They become a member of a growing community of Kauffman FastTrac TechVenture graduates, and they receive an opportunity to work with CPAs from Montjoy Chilton Medley in Louisville that sit down and work with them and talk through their financials and offer them advice and et cetera on their financials. So what do they get out of this program? Well, each module has specific tasks that are supposed to be completed prior to the next session. Entrepreneurs are, of course, obviously strongly encouraged to do so. What the entrepreneurs end up with at the end of this program, however, tends to depend, A, on the stage of the company at the beginning of the class, and B, frankly, how much time and effort they're willing to put into it. Some of the things that we focus on trying to get them to have at the end of the 10-week session is a personal vision statement, a business concept statement, the elevator pitch, and we actually work quite a bit on the elevator pitch, not because the elevator pitch is incredibly important, but just because what it means is if somebody can actually, in 1 to 2 minutes, concisely state what the objective of their business opportunity is in language that a layperson can understand, and give you an idea of the value of this, well, that's great, because a lot of scientists have a very hard time doing that, and they tend to make a lot of progress by focusing on this. During 10 weeks, they make a lot of progress, and the last day we have an elevator pitch competition, and by the end of the 10 weeks and the 3 classes that we've offered, people had done an amazing job of actually being able to verbalize their business opportunity in a very concise manner. We also work on the business plan with financials. We use the GUST form simply because it's what the angel investors utilize, as well as a lot of the agencies that give funding. We encourage them to work on an investor presentation. And they also, I think, more importantly to them, they end up with a network of relationships with successful leaders in our community, as well as a network of angel investors and potential mentors as well. And they should be ready then to apply for state entrepreneurial funds, and we have the people from the ICC that participate in our program, and then it's a very nice handoff to them as appropriate. So as I alluded to earlier, we've offered this program 3 times already. We started last spring. We had 12 entrepreneurs. Half of those were from the University of Louisville. Half of those were basically signature companies, and we had one person from the community that saw the program advertised in Business First and signed up. So of those 12, 1 has started a new company since completing the program. 1 was awarded an SBIR and a state match, and another one has had sales, executed a license to sell product, and I think he's actually finally finished negotiations and just got an infusion of cash from a local investor. We also offered this program last fall. Well, we had 17 entrepreneurs, a few from the University of Louisville and the rest from the community. Of those 17, 3 have already signed deals with the local angel investors, and 2 were recipients of this year's vote awards. So they gave away three vote awards this past spring, and 2 of them were Kauffman entrepreneurs from last fall. Finally, we just finished offering our 3rd session in the spring of this year. We had 38 entrepreneurs, including 4 vets from the Vet Start program. So the University of Louisville selected this program as the entrepreneurship training piece of their Vet Start year-long mentoring program. Of the 38 entrepreneurs that we had, there were actually 34 opportunities. Several of them came as teams. 2 of them were 5-minute presenters this past spring during the Venture Connectors meeting. 1 just won the 5K prize at the Venture Connectors Shark Tank program, and several are already negotiating term sheets with local investors. So we now have feedback from 67 entrepreneurs, and the feedback from these entrepreneurs for this program has been very positive. Many of them were hesitant to pay the required tuition at the beginning. They were wondering whether that would be a good use of their resources, a good use of their time, a good use of their energy, when a lot of these guys have day jobs and work on their business, in the evenings. So a lot of them had questioned whether it was going to be worth it. And I think to a person, everybody at the end will say that they can probably pinpoint 1 or 2 modules where the tuition was worth being there for that day solely. So I think, they all found it to be incredibly useful and an incredibly good use of their limited dollar resources. So obviously, I've indicated some of the success our companies have had so far. I'd, of course, like to be able to attribute this success to their participation in our program. However, we do have, I think, several independent signals of the success of this program. First of all, the University of Louisville finds it sufficiently useful, of value to them, that they subsidize the cost for full-time University of Louisville staff and students. Second of all, we had a local angel that required the CEO of a company he invested in to take this course as a requirement for receiving funding. Kauffman graduates are recommending this program to their friends. People are actually contacting us. The vote awards allocated about $20,000 of their money this year to subsidize attendance for 20 people that applied for vote awards and did not receive it. And finally, this continues to receive support from the business leaders in our community that continue every time to give their time as guest speakers and business coaches. So we feel we've achieved credibility. Our entrepreneurship training program has been a success, and we plan to continue to offer this program twice a year for as long as there's a community desire. Thank you.